The Thursday, July 10th, 2025, 6 p.m. Wytheville Planning Commission meeting is now called to order. First item on the agenda is establishment of a quorum, which we have. Approval of the agenda is next. Requires a motion.
Make a motion to approve.
Second.
George? Oh,
I said second.
okay. Okay, Keith?
Aye.
Aye, excuse me.
Aye.
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 Okay. Next on the agenda, consent agenda, which are the minutes of the regular meeting of May 8th. Requires a motion.
Motion to approve. Second.
Is there any discussion regarding the motion? If not, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 Opposed? Okay. Next item, citizens period. And we have no citizens on the list that wish to speak, so we'll move on. Next, request from Town Council. Presentation by Town Attorney Paul Castle regarding the Wytheville Town Council's instruction for the Wytheville Planning Commission to study modifying the current zoning ordinance to determine if it should be amended to include regulations for the use of tents in some or all zoning districts.
Hi, members of the Planning Commission. The Town Council has become concerned about people residing, not a kid camping in their backyard, not a family having a camp out event, but people residing in tents and RVs in the town limits. The Town Council has received complaints about that, about both of those issues. And there was a time that we had greater restrictions on tents in our town code. It was not in our zoning code. It was in a different portion of our code. And so the Town Council is asking for you to consider whether or not you think that would be appropriate to recommend some regulations with regard to tents and RVs for the circumstances that I've described. On your table is a proposed, or on your table is a code section from New Martinsville, which had some restrictions on tents and RVs, on dwelling in those. And it gives you something just to start with. The terms that I suggest that you consider having in any such proposal would be to prohibit the dwelling or living or residing in tents or RVs in town limits in all districts. Coupled with, however, an exception to allow temporary uses of tents for recreational purposes, because we don't want to interfere with our families being able to do the things that they do. And I think that was council's desire as well. I'm available to, I know you guys are very experienced. I'm available to assist you if you want to provide terms that you would like to see in a proposed zoning ordinance. I'd be happy to do that for you. Likewise, our council likewise would like for you to consider developing one if you believe that's appropriate. Ms. Holton, did I miss anything? Okay, no. Thank you. So any questions I can answer?
Are there any legal implications with with not allowing the tents to happen?
I don't believe that there are any legal prohibitions against it. There are prohibitions in many other communities against residing in tents within town limits. So I don't see any legal prohibitions. Okay. I do encourage you to have an exception, obviously, for the recreational use. We don't want to interfere with our Boy Scouts or Girl Scouts camping in their backyard.
Right.
Anything else?
Or Chautauqua or anything like that?
I'm sorry, sir, I didn't hear you.
Chautauqua.
Chautauqua, yes, sir. We could exclude that. we could have you could have a language in there for approved festivals. Where it's, that's a good thought. I hadn't thought of that. I'm gonna write that down so I don't forget that.
Are there any other festivals? Was it just Chautauqua?
Well, we could have approved festivals. We put some generic language to authorize the residing of tents for festivals approved by the town council or by the town manager, whichever you believe is more appropriate.
And have there been complaints on the recreational vehicles
Yes, sir.
as well?
Yes, sir. There have
With,
been.
with people living in the
Yes, sir.
Okay.
There has been. I'm aware of one very significant complaint that's been ongoing.
And we don't have anything in our ordinances that regulate the recreational vehicles at all?
We don't have anything that regulates dwelling that I'm aware of.
I know there was nothing in there about tents because I didn't see anything, but
There was, and it was taken out because we thought we had adequate information. Adequate protection under state code. Turns out we don't.
Okay.
So we that's something we would like to see, and it needs to be in the zoning ordinance.
Because there was nothing in the definitions with the tents.
No, sir.
Nothing at all.
No, sir. There was that section wasn't in the zoning portion of the code, as I recall,
Right.
when it was removed a while back, and it's been quite a while back that it was removed.
Okay.
I know we're talking about residing in an RV, but is there any code against parking the RV in a residential neighborhood?
I believe there are limitations on that, sir, but I'm not sure,
'Cause I
Mr.
see
Jones.
a
I'll have to
lot
get
of-
that for you.
I've seen a lot of RVs
Right.
parked in driveways and yards, and
Right.
I've noticed it seems
Randy,
to be
you were
an-
shaking your head. Is there in some districts?
No, you can't. You can't do it in your
Front yard.
in any residential, right, Elaine?
To my knowledge, there are no prohibitions parking a
Oh,
residential.
well, thank you for
Yeah.
correcting me on that. I wasn't sure, Mr. Jones, on that. I've seen them around a lot too in town.
Yeah.
So that, I mean, if that's something you could consider addressing if you believe it's appropriate to address. I mean, council asked you to look at the two things that I described.
Right.
You of course, are the planning commission. You
That's
can look
in-
at whatever you want to look at.
That's in the town code, right?
On the street, there may be some restrictions, but if there are recreational vehicles and you're in personal driveway, to my knowledge.
No, what he's saying is they can't live in them.
We don't have any restrictions on
That's what you're
living.
asking,
I
right?
was asking specifically about just parking them.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because I think there's a difference between parking and
Now,
living.
and parking. Council was not asking you to consider regulating that. Obviously, you're the planning commission. You have the power to do what you deem appropriate. But council wasn't concerned about people parking them. They were concerned about people residing in them.
Yeah, because there's a lot of parking in driveways.
Yeah.
I think the parking in them might significantly affect quite a few citizens.
It would
Yeah.
Our
significantly for sure.
HOA limits, I think it's up to 15 days to have a recreational driveway. Then you have to move it.
Well, I've seen recreational vehicles parked behind people's houses for longer than that. So
That's just our HOA.
Oh, sorry,
Yeah,
sorry,
it's-
sorry. Yeah.
What, you don't want people residing in the tents or RVs. Where's the threshold that moves from recreational to residing?
Well, I think that's something that you can set up, but I would imagine that would be a period no less than a few days. We do not want, I think council would like to see you consider something that short term, because what we don't want, folks, is to have, tents turning into to where people are living.
Right.
And this has arisen due to
Right.
actual complaints of things that have
Yes, sir.
actually happened in the town.
Yeah, I've seen it for sure.
Okay, well then you know,
It
Mr.
is,
Schmidt.
it is a problem.
You know, Mr. Schmidt, yeah.
Is this issue a result of homeless using tents, or is this people setting tents in their backyards and having family live in them? I mean,
The issues that I'm aware of relate to homeless type issues. I'm not aware of the issue of a family placing. The RV issue was a relative, from my understanding. But the tents, have been people that don't have other homes within the town. I don't know if they're homeless or not, but they don't have other homes here.
I think a big part of it is the homeless problem with the tents, is what I've seen anyway. I
Sure.
mean, I haven't seen anything about tents being backyards.
That's
being a
where all the
problem.
ones all the complaints that I'm aware of were related to that, sir.
Right,
With regard to the tents.
sure.
While we're kind of banding this around, educate me. Is there a area or a section of town where homeless tend to gather or congregate,
I
put
think
up tents or anything?
I think it's in various areas, sir. I don't think there's a particular area from my understanding of the problem.
Okay.
It happens in our commercial areas. It's happening in certain places in our residential areas. It's happening in right-of-ways. Those are the areas that I'm aware of that sparked this request to you.
So how do we regulate right-of-ways? Because that's a different,
Well, right-of-ways, if they're our right-of-ways,
right?
we can regulate them.
Okay.
And if they are, if they're
Outside.
on private land, your zoning still addresses private
Right.
land, right? They're state, that gets a little trickier.
Okay.
Okay, but if we have it, it's a start. So we'll regulate it to the extent allowed by law.
Okay.
Any further discussion for Mr. Castle? Questions before we move on?
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. And I have to excuse myself. I have another meeting I have to go to.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Next, update by Assistant Town Manager, Director of Planning, Elaine, regarding the With Town Council's directive to discontinue working on the United Development Ordinance and to study modifying the current zoning ordinance to bring it up to date with state law.
Okay, thank you, and good evening, everyone. I hope everyone is doing well with your new laptops. Hope that's going well. If you need any assistance, let staff know. So essentially, at the last town council meeting, the town council did give a new directive to the planning commission and staff. The directive is to discontinue working on the Unified Development Ordinance and to instead look at the current zoning ordinance to bring it up to date with state law. So today is the first of, I guess, many meetings where I will be working with each of you to take this action. I have not had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Castle yet about, what his involvement might be, but as we all know, it is a legal aspect of making sure that our ordinance is in accordance with the state law. So my hope is that the town council will allow us to use legal counsel to assist us with that as needed. So with that being said, I don't have a whole lot to say about that. If you have any questions after tonight's meeting, you can call me, and I'm happy to speak with each of you. But we haven't essentially started this task yet. I'm really just looking for the Planning Commission to provide comment tonight about direct staff as well, about how you would like to move forward in this way.
I do have a comment. Is obviously I'm not happy that this has happened because I think a lot of the town commissioners, the planning commissioners here, put a lot of effort into this. And now to already see the ordinances, because I really thought after the last couple of meetings that we had, we were heading down the right way, in my opinion. I thought things were starting to come together with looking at the old ordinances to the new one. And so I really thought that we were going through it slowly, methodically, and I really believe that the new UDO is set out a lot better than the existing ordinances. The existing ordinances, you can just see all the amendments that have been made to it, everything like that. So I'm not happy about this. That's all I can say. And no offense to you, Elaine, but I don't know why John was taken off either, because he's the one who's been working on this the whole time. And I'm a little disappointed myself. I would recommend going back to town council and asking them if they can bring this back, because I think we've all spent a lot of time on it. I don't know how everyone else feels about it, but this is just what I feel about it. And I think we were headed on the right track the last couple of meetings. And now just to have the rug pulled out, I don't think is right. But like I said, you know, why are we here if the town council can just decide on what they want to do? I mean, what are we doing? I don't know what we're doing, you know? And that's my personal opinion. I don't know what anyone else has to say, but I just had to bring it up because, you know, I'm just not happy about it.
I second that.
And I too agree with that. I question what town council sees as our role. And I think David's right. We were headed in the right direction, but why do you actually, so if you put experts on a committee, such as David and Brad and the rest of us that have learned so much in the last 2 years, why do you even have that committee if you're not going to listen to the people that have worked on it for over 2 years and a half, and then you vote to scrap it and start from the very beginning when you don't even attend the meetings and know what we're doing? So what is our role here? Why do you even have us? I mean, if it's kind of like a lack of respect thing for the planning commission people that devote their time and effort into trying to make things better for the town. And I guess I look at it like this. So if I take an analogy of something in medicine, because I'm a nurse, and I look at this. So let's say that committee has been working on a specific drug to enhance your cure rate of colon cancer, or to at least knock it back. And that committee recommends to a governing body that we want to try this new drug because the one that you currently have is ineffective and out of date. So does that governing body have the power to knock all of that research and that work that's done down and just throw it away? It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I don't agree, but
It might would help at least to understand if we knew a little bit about the thought process, the thinking behind making this change, what the reasons. If that's anything that you can
Rationale.
enlighten us on.
Well, I mean, I'm just going to be honest with this group. I think you all know how I felt about it. You can watch the video from the town council meeting if you wish. There was some comments made about how individual members felt about the UDO. But I was equally shocked as you all were, so I don't know how much staff can add to the conversation. But, I do work for the town. I do work for the town council. In this role, I work for each of you as well. So I will do what I am directed to do. And if that's, to start from scratch, we'll do that. If that's to resume work on the UDO, we'll do that. But you as planning commissioners, you definitely are valued by myself and the other staff. And I have enjoyed working with you on it. So I really don't have anything else to add. But, if you do feel very impassioned about maybe sending a response to town council, maybe the chair can head up some sort of a correspondence to the town council to start a dialogue with the town council about how you feel. Maybe that's a particular path that you could take.
It's not only that, it's also the money that's been spent on going through all this as well. I mean, these are taxpayers' money that we're talking about here, and I don't see how you just wipe it all out and start from the old ordinances again. I mean, I just don't understand it. I don't understand why it's been done. I mean, I know that there were issues with the new UDO and we were working through it. And I thought we were going through it systematically and taking the existing ordinances and comparing them and then change it to fit so that we don't lose everything from the existing ordinances and put it. It's just that the new UDO is easier to go through and read, as opposed to the existing one, which it is old and there's been a lot of stuff added. Not that there's anything wrong with that, Because I think when the people first, when the original planning commission members came out and did that, they were doing it in their time, and they were doing the right thing, and it's been added. But I just feel like it's just a kick in the teeth for us, you know? Anyway.
Which meeting was this decided at?
Randy, can you assist us with that? I want to say it was.
I'm just
the
not seeing a
June-
date here.
June 9th, I think. Hang on.
Last meeting we had.
June 9th.
June 9th, I think.
The 9th?
Yes.
I'm just gonna make a note so I can look at the video.
I strongly urge you to go and look at the video, and I would
I'm sorry,
urge
June, it was the June 23rd meeting.
June 23rd.
I think
And I
so.
would strongly urge each of you, if you desire to attend Monday night's council meeting, we start at 6 p.m. We have a citizens period, so if you would like to voice your concern about the discontinuance of the UDO, I would urge you to attend Monday night's meeting.
I would come, but unfortunately I'm going to be out of town, but I will try and draft a letter
Okay.
for that meeting.
I'll be
That's-
there.
That's this coming Monday?
Yes.
I will be there.
Can actually, if David drafts a letter, can I read that letter to
Sure.
town council?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, it was the June 23rd meeting. Because the excerpt of that.
Well-
minutes are in here.
Let me say that when the commission voted not to, on the hearing, not to approve it, and we had our next meeting, I personally thought that John presented some very good reasons as to why we should adopt the UDO. And, because they enlightened me a lot, not that I was opposed to it. I mean, I think it's good. I agree with the other members here. And my suggestion is we proceed and have our hearing, and assuming everything goes right, then we approve it and send it to council. Now, if council wants to vote it down, that's their privilege. But we should ask them what are their specific reasons as to why they do not like it. I mean, we know that one member of council came and voiced his opposition to it. But you know, you should have a reason as to why you're against something. And I agree, we've spent a lot of time, and for that matter, a lot of money coming up with this. And I think we need it based on the comments that John made that can happen with the present ordinances. If something happens in particular and there's nothing you can do because the ordinance doesn't allow it. So that's my suggestion, right or wrong. Make them say so. Because if you vote no, you have a reason. You should, in my opinion. End of my lecture.
I think several of us voted no initially to not adopt it. And that wasn't because we wanted it gone or not to be looked at. We just wanted more information and to, as Mr. Schmidt said, just continue to go through it and look at it section by section so that we didn't miss anything. I think we just wanted more time spent on it, but it was not to actually get rid of it. And I'm sorry if some of the council members, and that may have been,
No,
I don't know.
Sorry, Lisa.
No.
I know there were things in the new UDO that I wasn't happy with, but I think this is why we're here, to discuss these things and to bring the existing ordinances into the new UDO. I didn't want to just scrap the existing ordinances, but I think the way that the new UDO was set up was better, but there were still things that I just didn't agree. I think we still had to look at putting in from the different zones. So that was my opinion on that. So, but it's not that I ever wanted to scrap the new UDO. It's definitely a lot easier to read, but I wasn't happy with the stuff that wasn't being brought into it. And that's, that was my objection to it. So it's never that I ever wanted to scrap it. No. I just wanted to make sure that we covered everything with all the zones, that we didn't have any issues for anyone who then, with a new DO, with there being issues down the line. So I just wanted more time to go through it, but it was never ever to get rid of the new UDO.
I don't think on this committee anyway that was ever a
The
problem.
intention.
Or
No.
It was never the intention, never. I think what David's describing is what we say is constructive criticism. I mean, that's what we're trying to do. It's certainly no disrespect or to scrap it at all, so.
Well, I'll be here Monday as well, for what that's worth.
I'll be out of town. Otherwise, I'd be there.
Well, we do have some business coming up in August, so we will convene again for some actual applications, and I'm sure this will be another topic, and we'll continue the conversation, so.
I guess with regards to the tent and the recreation vehicles, is that going to be in the next meeting? Do we have to?
It will, yes.
Okay.
So we'll put an agenda item on that agenda to start the conversation as a group about, I
Okay.
mean, I know I've took some notes, as I'm sure you all did. Between now and then, think about what potential language we may want to develop, and we'll work on it together.
Okay.
Well, I think that's all that I had, unless the chair has something else.
Any further discussion? Any topics that we need to discuss before we adjourn?
I do have a question, maybe for Elaine. Is this commission, are we allowed to have a working session?
Absolutely.
Like if we wanted to come together in the conference room and hash out recommendations on the zoning?
Absolutely. They just have to be open to the public if we have more than 3 or more members. So, but we can meet in a different space that feels a little more collaborative. We did that one time. For those of you who were on the commission years ago, we met in one of the conference rooms and just let the public know that they are welcome to join us. So,
I mean, it might be an option to just discuss and brainstorm some ideas on this zoning request before we, of course, pulling everybody together might be a challenge too, but just an idea.
This is the shortest meeting that I've ever been to. Sorry.
Anything else, David?
No, ma'am.
All right. If not, then we will adjourn the Wytheville Planning Commission meeting for July 10th at 6:30.